The greater prairie chicken in Illinois. The greater prairie chicken is a bird that was once very common in Illinois. In the 1800s, the prairie chicken population in the state reached a peak of about 14 million birds. By the early 1900s, there were hardly any prairie chickens left. Today, the prairie chicken is an endangered species in our state. Recent population declines left only 62 prairie chickens in the state. They currently live in only 2 Illinois counties, Jasper and Marion, on the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Prairie Ridge State Natural Area. What are these birds like? Greater prairie chickens are about the same size, 17 to 18 inches in length from tail tip to bill tip, as domesticated chickens. They resemble domesticated chickens too in body shape. Their feathers, however, are brown with white bars. Males weigh about 2 pounds. Females weigh about 1 1/2 to 2 pounds. The tail is short. Males have black tail feathers, while females have brown and white tail feathers. Males have an orange sac on each side of the neck and black neck feathers. The orange sacs are inflated and the black neck feathers are raised during the bird's courtship ritual. The call, or booming, of the males during courtship can be heard for long distances. Mating occurs from late March through May. During this time, males put on a display on the booming grounds, strutting, calling, and dancing. After mating, the female builds a nest in a depression on the ground and grasses, and usually hidden by grasses. She lines the nest with feathers, grasses, and other plant materials. About 12 to 17 eggs are laid, and the female incubates them for the entire 23 to 24-day incubation period. The young birds can leave the nest just a few hours after hatching and can fly 1 to 2 weeks after hatching. In fall, prairie chickens gather in flocks. The birds eat waste grain, insects, and plant parts and seeds. What happened to cause the great decline in this species? Overhunting, egg collection, and habitat destruction are the main causes for its decline. In the 1800s, there were no hunting regulations and the birds were killed in tremendous numbers by hunters. The prairie where this bird lived was converted to mainly agricultural uses. The ringneck pheasant, a bird that is not native to the United States, was brought to this country and released for sport hunting. It can be a nest parasite of greater prairie chickens. The pheasant lays its eggs in the prairie chicken nest for the prairie chicken to incubate and raise. The female prairie chicken cannot tell the difference in the eggs. The pheasant eggs hatch first, and the pheasant young receive most of the food and care, while unhatched prairie chicken eggs are abandoned. By 1994, only about 40 prairie chickens were left in the state. Because of their small population size, they had lost a tremendous amount of genetic variability, causing more problems. Many of their eggs would not hatch. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources increased efforts to save the species. They obtained additional habitat for the birds. They implemented prairie management procedures for the habitat. They worked to control the ringneck pheasant population. They brought in additional greater prairie chickens that were trapped in other states to increase genetic variety. These changes did allow the population of prairie chickens to expand for about 15 years. Recently, though, the population has suffered tremendous losses due to a hailstorm and several periods of drought conditions. In 2014, a revised management plan was implemented. IDNR biologists began trapping prairie chickens in Kansas, transporting them to Illinois, and releasing them at Prairie Ridge State Natural Area. The goal is to transport 300 birds into the Illinois population over a 3-year period to stabilize the population. Why is Prairie Ridge State Natural Area so important? Prairie Ridge State Natural Area has 4,100 acres and contains 2 of the 5 significant grasslands in Illinois. Greater prairie chickens are not the only grassland species endangered in the state. Work to help the greater prairie chicken will help other grassland species too. Prairie Ridge State Natural Area provides critical habitat for 20 endangered and 7 threatened species in Illinois. Bird species in decline in the state that are present at Prairie Ridge include Henslow's sparrow, loggerhead shrike, king rail, short-eared owl, greater prairie chicken, field sparrow, northern bobwhite, and grasshopper sparrow. Of special importance, Prairie Ridge hosts Illinois' only breeding population of greater prairie chickens and the state's largest breeding population of northern harriers and short-eared owls. The recovery of greater prairie chickens in Illinois is realistic. It is limited only by humans and their actions. We can work together to make a difference for this species as well as many others.